Good morning, everybody. We are live. We are at the Festival Foods on Green Bay's north side, and we are in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we are at Festival Foods, which is a Wisconsin-based grocer. We have 25 locations throughout the state, and it's mid-December, which means we are close to the holiday season, and what better time than the holidays to be talking about meat. So we are at the meat department at our store, and I'm with our senior meat director, Mike Zimmerman, and he's going to be providing some insight into all these different cuts of meat that you can see behind me. We have a perfectly set case ready for our weekend shoppers. Many people are getting ready for their holiday parties or looking maybe even for some inspiration along the way. So what we wanted to do is kind of tell you about a few options that you might not necessarily think about as you try something a little bit different this holiday season. And Mike, we're going to be talking a lot about different cuts of meat here, but we wanted to show you, no matter the cut, and no matter honestly if we're talking about chicken or steak, mostly just beef, we will see these legendary, and I can show you the tags, the legendary beef tags. That is our program that we're really excited about, and I think people might just see the tag and might not know that much about it. So what can you tell us about the legendary beef program, and why are we so excited about it?
Well, Amy, I'm glad to talk about that. I really have a passion for beef. It's my history for a long time. So to start with, legendary beef, like Amy said, is our brand. We developed this about 1.5 years ago. All of the meat managers, we went to the facility where we produce that, and we talked about the grade that we want, the trim standards that we want. We had this specially trimmed, so we leave some of the undesirable things back at the beef plant, so we get the best cuts of meat right here. And that was probably the easy part. It was harder to name it because Scoggins has such a history of good meat through the 3 generations that this family has been going, and making us very successful, and we wanted to carry that tradition on. But for those who really know beef and they want to know what grade is it, we've had guests ask us, so what grade is this? This is USDA choice product, and that is what most grocery stores do sell. We do, however, take it the extra mile. Within the choice grade, there's 3 different marbling scores. And marbling, if you can see here, if you bring your camera over, are these white specks of fat here. And this provides the tenderness, the juiciness, and the flavor in the meat. And like I said, there's 3 different types or 3 different levels of marbling. And we have what's called the upper 2/3 of choice. So we have the 2 highest tiers of the marbling. That's what makes it so tender and so moist. Also, we age this beef 3 weeks before we cut it, which helps tenderize the meat, and it also gives it a really good flavor. So legendary beef, again, been with us for about 1.5 years. It's doing phenomenally well. As Amy said, we are a Wisconsin-based company, Festival Foods, and almost all of this beef comes from Wisconsin. It's produced in Wisconsin right here. In fact, most of it's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So we have a lot of guest comments. They appreciate the fact we support the local community and local jobs. So this really has been an excellent program for us.
And that's very similar across the way that we're seeing these tags on each product, but we're also seeing a wide variety of things that we offer. So maybe we can just walk through here and real quick, let's be talking to people about what we're seeing. Like this king cut, quite honestly, I've never seen before, but it looks amazing. And then we have different seasoning on it as well. So maybe, Mike, you can talk about the king cut and,
Sure.
and what it is, and what people might, or what you suggest people have it. If it's like a single cut of meat, or could you feed like an entire table full of people?
Okay, you bet. So at Festival Foods, if you've seen our commercials, we talk about innovation. And that's one of the things we constantly do. We want to make a better product. We want to provide a better value to our guests. And typically, it's something you can't get anywhere else. And same with the legendary beef. That is exclusive to Festival. You can't get legendary anywhere else. Now this king cut. So you probably all have heard of standing rib roast or prime rib roast, and that's kind of different grocers' variations of that. We've taken it to the next level, and I'm going to open the glass up here so we can see it better. So a couple of things that we have done to make this a better roast. So again, you've probably heard this called a standing rib roast or a prime rib. So as you can see here, we've taken all of this fat that used to run along here that you're paying $9 and $10 a pound for, that you can't eat, so we've trimmed that off. Then the next step is, if you can see the strings here, we've literally taken a knife and we've separated the meat from the bone and then tied it back on. So then when you cook it and you want to serve it, you literally just snip the strings, cut the bone, finish cutting it away from the meat, and you've got a boneless piece to cut. The only thing that's hanging on is, let's take this tag off right here. As you can see right here, the only piece is hanging on right at the end, and that just serves as a hinge and holds it onto there. So again, when you're done, you snip the strings and you've got a nice boneless piece to cut with your knife. Now this is a plain one. You can tell, you can just see the wetness of the fat. We also have two flavors. So this is a king cut that's plain. In the king cut, this is an entire rib. This is the queen cut and it's 4 ribs, and this is the princess and it's 3 ribs. So it's just a matter of how many people that you're feeding. So here we've got a savory roasted garlic and a savory roasted herb, and they are tremendous. And these seasonings, we develop these ourselves. It's only available at Festival Foods, and they really do set this product off. It is really tremendous. You need to try one. So, put that.
Got some new things here, but I think people might recognize a little bit more easily these products here.
Yep.
We got the, what is this, the tenderloin?
That's a tenderloin, yep. So here we have a ribeye steak and a tenderloin steak. And you're used to those terminology and you've had that before, and it kind of depends what steak you like. Some of it's deeper and a richer flavor. You can see all of the marbling that's in the ribeye. The tenderloin, on the other hand, it's tender, just as the name states, but there's a little less marbling. You'll find a tenderloin absorbs flavor much better, like you want to wrap it in bacon and season it. So a lot of people do that. Now, something that we have just started recently, I want to point out, is selling steaks by the each. And what we've done that guests have asked, they don't know how much a steak is going to cost. Let's say this was $14.99 a pound, and a guest doesn't know how much this is going to cost them. This way they know this big steak is going to be $18. We have $7 steaks and $10 steaks. So that way when you're planning your menu, you know how much that steak is going to cost you. So that's another great thing we've just started recently.
And I'm sure, Mike, when it comes to purchasing the items and people asking questions, you probably also get a lot of cooking questions too. And I think people, it's one thing to buy it, it's another thing to make it and have it taste good. Are there just maybe a few tips that you provide people when they're buying a different kind of cut?
Mm-hmm. We do. For the grand rib roast, for example, and I don't have one of the labels with me, but when we seal the package, we seal it with a nice recipe. So it's right on there, so you can't lose it. We also have recipes on our website. And then we have recipe cards here throughout the department you can ask for. You can ask any of our associates here, like Aaron, our meat manager. All of our team is very knowledgeable on how to prepare items, so just feel free to ask.
And when you talked a little bit, Mike, about the absence of fat on this king cut over here, but then as we walk down and we're seeing these larger cuts, I'm seeing a little bit more fat, and that probably is more of a taste preference kind of a thing, but maybe you can talk about some of these very unique cuts here.
Sure. We'll start in the center. And this is a pork item. This is a pork crown roast, very popular around the holidays, especially Christmas. We sell them stuffed and unstuffed, and the stuffing would go right in the pocket here. Let's lift this glass up. So, what the guests typically would do, they might create their own stuffing and they will stuff it right in the pork. And then there's little crowns that fit on each one of these rib bones. So when you serve it on your platter, you've got a nice presentation of this pork crown roast with the stuffing inside and the crowns on it. So back to beef for a second. 2 interesting cuts here. This is called our towering T-bone. We developed this about 1.5 years ago. And this T-bone steak, you cook this on the grill, indirect heat, upright, and it comes out amazingly good. You've got all the fat on this side of it, and this is the New York strip that you're familiar with. This side is the tenderloin. Here, we can get a better look right here. So there's your New York strip. There's your tenderloin. You cook it standing up. 45 minutes indirect heat will get you to medium rare. And it's a different eating experience than throwing a steak on the grill. It really turns out nice. And this is its big brother, the beast. Like if you're serving a lot of people, same thing. Cook it on indirect heat. They're really easy to carve. They look a little intimidating. But once you've got it cooked, and it's 16 minutes a pound to medium rare, you take your knife, and the tenderloin just pops right out. You follow the bone structure right here, and this tenderloin will pop right out. Same for the New York strip. You just follow the bone structure on this side, and that pops right out. It's really unique, so if you're looking for something to really impress your guests, could be a tailgate party, could be New Year's Eve, try either the towering T-bone or the beast. They're tremendous.
Great. And Becky would like to know where the per steak price is listed.
It'll be right on the tag here. Like with this thick cut ribeye, it's an 18-ounce steak, and it's $18 each.
Perfect.
You're welcome. And we also have thick cut T-bone steaks. We've got New York strip steaks. These are by the each, but the tag is on the glass here. This is a New York strip roast. So we've got a really good selection of steaks, especially with New Year's coming up. All right, let's shut this down.
this is often the time of year too where people might be trying a few proteins together. So for example, this might be the turf, and maybe we can walk over and show people the surf side of the meat case.
Let's do that.
And when we kind of are walking, we can be talking about our fresh flight fish program. It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to actually do it. But maybe you can talk about our efforts to get, I mean, we're in Wisconsin. It's not like we have a huge selection of fresh fish right in front of us, but we make an effort to get people those products.
Okay. Well, Fresh Flight Fish Program, it's been on board now for probably 5 or 6 years, and like Amy said, we're in Wisconsin, we're in the Midwest, it's December 16th, we're expecting 15 inches of snow, so how do you get fresh fish here, really? So we developed this, and we work directly with the fisheries in Boston, in Alaska, in Portland, Hawaii, and we fly those seafood directly into us within 36 hours. So we do, excuse us, busy day here, good morning. So again, we do fly this fish directly into us, so we have the freshest fish available. And one of the neat things, we work directly with these small fisheries. These are big commercial fishermen. These are people who, it's their livelihood. It's the actual people who go out and do the fishing. And probably the best thing for a guest to do is to call the store and say, hey, what's fresh today? Because being the type of program it is, if the boats don't go out, we may not have a particular seafood that day. And it also goes by within season, depends on ice conditions, so there's just a lot of variables because this is truly a fresh program.
And I think, we talk about intimidation a little bit when we were over by the steaks, and they could obviously ask one of our associates for help along the way, but we'd be remiss if we didn't also point out how super simple we make seafood in our one-step prep program.
Yes, exactly. Good point. So another program we just started, we innovated earlier this year, it's called One Step Prep. And guests were looking for an easier way to prepare meals, so we have provided that, and that's including in seafood. So we've got 2 variations. We've got a microwave version. Let's grab the lobster tail, for example. So this is the microwave version. So the guest simply looks at the directions. You take the bag out of the container, you microwave it on high for 2 to 3 minutes. And there's what that bag looks like. So you pop it in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes, and you've got yourself lobster tail. Or, if you don't want to use the microwave, we also have an oven-ready version. And this is just a plain tail. This version right here, same size tail, 4.5 ounces. So, it is in this ovenable tray. You take it, I'm not going to pop the lid, but you would pop the lid, you loosely cover it with foil, stick it in the oven, and you cook it for 15 to 20 minutes. And we've already cracked the shell for you. There's a pat of butter in there and a little light seasoning also. And I know I did some lobster tails last weekend for the Packer game, and you had to boil the water, and then you steam them. It took 20 minutes. It's a lot of work. This is so super easy. You'll love it.
And the taste is really there, too.
Yep, exactly.
And Jeannie would like to know if the fish is processed in the U.S.
Yes. We do have some fish that we do bring in. It's not flown in. We do sell other fishes from around the world, though. But most of our fish is processed in the U.S. All the fresh flight is, yes.
And we also make a huge effort when it comes to sustainability.
Yes.
And offering sustainable seafood items. Now, you'll be able to see as we kind of come around the corner here, and even on the lobster, you're seeing the green sticker that says Best Choice. And Mike, what does Best Choice mean? It seems to me, as being a guest, that gives me the green light that I can feel good about it.
You bet. Come on right over here. So we have these stickers up here that kind of explain the sustainable program, and we got into this last year because it's the right thing to do. And this has really nothing to do about food safety. It's all about ensuring that there's seafood for future generations and the way that they're caught. So we have almost no avoids anymore left in our cases. As we feel as a retailer, it's our obligation to provide the best quality and the most sustainable seafood. We want to make sure that there's seafood for future generations. So what you want to look for is either a good alternative, and these don't come from us, these ratings. This comes from Monterey Bay Aquarium in California. They are the people who rate these. It's not by us. So the ones you want to look for are the best choice, good alternatives. And if you see an avoid, at the end of the day, that's really up to you whether or not you want to buy it. And again, it's not a food safety concern. It's merely that they're not approved with the way they either capture, or farm raise the product. So again, as Amy said, we have them also down here on the tag, so you can make a good choice.
And that's obviously something that's really important to people. They want to make sure that they can feel good about the items that they're purchasing. And a lot of research and work went into this. And like you said, Mike, And I think you can see up here, we do work with Monterey Bay. Like Mike said, it's not like Festival Foods is deciding what is the best, most sustainable option for keeping our oceans full of seafood. That's a very reputable and organization that does a lot of research to make sure that we are giving back to the planet that has given us so much.
And you can go on their website, or we have these cards up on top of the case also, and it will help tell you what's their best choices, good alternatives, and what you should be avoiding.
And that's also insight too that we have really provided to our associates as well. So if people have questions or just kind of want to talk through a few things, they can provide that information as well. So I know we talked about, and we can kind of make our way back down to the meat side. We talked about one-step prep with seafood, but we also have plenty of meat and chicken options for one-step prep.
We do.
And I think that's pretty unique.
Let's look at, here's our number one seller. Right here is our center cut seasoned Verlasso salmon. So same thing, take it out of the bag, and it's checked off how long you should cook it, 3 to 4 minutes on high. I mean, it's really super fast, really easy, and this will be the best salmon that you've ever had. We've had so many compliments on that. People take it home for either their dinner, take it for lunches. I mean, it literally cooks in 3 to 4 minutes, and it's an outstanding product. This is our best-selling one.
And Verlasso has made a huge commitment to being sustainable.
Exactly right.
And that's really a choice product in terms of their commitment to providing a good quality item.
Exactly right. As a matter of fact, this same company they're the largest supplier of non-sustainable salmon. This has forced them to up their game on their regular salmon, so it's a good thing.
That's
the right thing to do.
Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I want lobsters.
Excuse us.
Thank you.
So we have chicken available in the microwave bag, and then in these oven-ready trays, we've got asparagus chicken breast, chicken Wellington. We've got hors d'oeuvres such as the jalapenos, very nice for this time of year. We've got mushrooms available.
See, we obviously are talking a lot about holidays items, and this can be a great, easy way to start a holiday meal. If it's something like popping this into the oven, and then you're able to communicate with guests who are over instead of being in the kitchen and having to do a million different things.
Very quick and convenient.
Great. Well, let's circle back to one of probably our most signature items that I think people just kind of come to count on us for, but might not know the history behind it or even what it means. But before we get there, let's talk about our brand new, right?
Brand new for this year.
Brand new holiday ham.
So, as I said, at Festival we're the innovators. We continually want to get better at what we do, provide our guests a better quality product, and provide them a good value. So, what we created this year, and you probably noticed at home that some of the hams that you buy these days aren't as good as they used to be, and that's the reason people are making them cheaper. We want to make them better. So we branded this ham. They are made in Wisconsin, and we are the only place you can buy these. And they are genuine hardwood smoked, which some people have gotten away from. This is brown sugar and maple cured for outstanding flavor. It's got lower fat and lower sodium content, and it's gluten-free. It's really a high-quality ham. You'll love it.
And this is definitely a year where people are having their Christmas ham and holiday, table filled with proteins, and it's good to know that they've got multiple options.
Yes, you can have this big boy. So yes, very good ham. I suggest you give it a try this year.
And if people are looking for, you just cut that out of the plastic and put it in the oven?
That's all there is to it. And I forgot to mention, the cooking instructions are right on the label, so it's pretty
So you
foolproof.
can just see how to cook it right there.
Yep.
So there's no, how do I do this?
Yep.
And suddenly you get home and you have a million questions.
And another thing we didn't touch on, so let's say like this ham or anything that you want a special order, let's say you wanted this ham cut in half. Just ask the team back there, they'll cut it in half for you, wrap it individually. And so that leads us to special orders. We do tens of thousands of special orders, especially this time of the year. If you'll come in here next week and look in our cooler, the walls will be solid with special orders. It could be thick cut steaks for a party, it could be hams, it could be an organic chicken. It's A to Z. So people really want the right item for their holiday dinner, rather. So feel free to ask for a special cut. We enjoy doing that any time of the year. So again, you want it, we'll do it for you.
Well, and it's too a matter of calling the store and perhaps talking through some things that you don't necessarily have to be here to ask questions or to place an order. You can find your local store's information at bestfood.com/stores. Give them a call and just kind of talk through what you're looking for. We're more than happy to help. And it's the quickest, most efficient way for you to get that information. And there's personalization that can happen right here at the meat department as well. Like we showed you those nice microwavable bags. Mike, someone could ask for a specific cut at the counter and then get a bag so you can personalize that right on the spot.
Yep, we do have the bags available. And something you mentioned is a good point. It's always best to call ahead on the special orders, give us as much time, because some of the stuff that people want for special meals, we don't carry every day. They are a holiday item, so the more advanced you can give us, the better chance that we're going to get it for you. We'll have it in stock, we'll have it ready for you. We don't want you to come in and get disappointed, so the more warning you can give us, the better we are.
Right, and that's definitely something where, with our network of stores, can work in between, our associates and figure out between our locations if there's something that we can get you in a pretty reasonable amount of time. But we just wanted to kind of take a walk one more time through the meat department, and obviously we walked pretty quickly, but you have plenty of chicken options and pork options as well. This turkey breast, Mike, I have to say, it looks pretty amazing.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
And is that a specialty? It looks special for the holidays.
We sell them, typically around the holidays, we sell a lot of them.
Okay.
Just like turkeys are really popular around the holidays, same with this boneless skinless turkey breast. Excuse me, it's not skinless. And it is rolled in that same savory herb seasoning that we have, so it's really got a nice earthy flavor to it.
It looks amazing, and I think it's always nice to have multiple options for people when you might have guests that have a wide variety of tastes.
And that's for the holiday meal, so if you want something quicker, of course there's our dad's chicken breast that, again, is one of our signature items that we just sell tons of them. It's one of our most popular items, and there's many flavors available.
And Steph would like to know if we sell bison.
We do have it frozen in some stores, yes.
But that's a perfect item in terms of calling ahead, seeing what we have, and our associates are willing to make anything and everything happen. So if you just give us enough time, we can definitely deliver on that. But I do want to talk about a signature item that I know we're always particularly proud to talk about, and that is our spoon roast.
Yes.
So I know I'm not a Wisconsin native, and this was a brand new term to me when I came to the northeast part of the state. Mike, what is spoon roast?
Spoon roast starts with legendary beef, and it's a bottom sirloin is the cut of beef, and we are the largest user of bottom sirloins in the country. And then we marinate it in our special burgundy pepper marinade, which tenderizes it. We call it spoon roast because by the time we're done with it and that marination, that flavoring, you can literally cut it with a spoon. So that's where the name came from. And then, if you don't want to roast, we also have the spoon steak, so you get that same great flavor without having to roast.
We also talked about, with so many different people getting together for a meal, we know that there are food allergies that people need to take into account, whether it's gluten or dairy, you name it. And you can see on our tags here that we will point out when there are no gluten-containing ingredients in an item. And that's also information that we have provided to our associates to be able to answer those questions as well. And we have an allergen-friendly food guide that's online that we can provide you a link to as well. But we don't want you to ever feel like you're having to navigate these waters by yourself. We're always here to help with all those difficult questions at times. So I think, Mike, is there anything else that we want to say?
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
That's right.
And feel free to reach out to us with any questions along the way, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining us.